Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba here with Tanis Cornell. She is the CEO of EWF International. Tanis, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too.
Nice to see you again.
Thanks. I feel good that you're here. You've done some great things. There's been some big changes in your organization. You're spearheading a lot of changes and a lot of great new things. Tell us about them.
Well, as when we last met, I had left corporate America about 5 years ago to start my own business, really to fulfill a passion of mine, which was seeing women become more successful as they rose through the ranks of corporate America. And so I became a licensee for EWF International, a 20-year-old company, and I became the licensee for the Dallas market.
Now, before we go too far, tell our audience, what does that organization, what is their charter? What are they out here to do? And then you can tell me what you brought to the table.
Absolutely. Well, our mission is to increase the representation of women in the executive ranks of corporate America and to help women business owners grow and scale their companies. That's our primary service offering through peer advisory boards is how we do that, putting together small groups of women, 8 to 14 women in a group that meet on a regular basis in a professionally facilitated meeting that is with the goal of those women becoming a peer advisory board to each other and sharing expertise and insight on real-world, real-time issues that those women are dealing with in their business. Sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes it's an opportunity, but it provides them a safe, confidential place to really have a think tank around them to address these real-time issues. There's a lot of corporate training out there for women, but what we offer through our peer advisory boards is really an experiential learning process. So obviously these women are learning as they're presenting issues, but they're also learning a tremendous amount as they hear the issues of their peers and what they're dealing with, and they're an active part in the strategy of that particular person's issue or problem or challenge as well.
Yeah, I can see that they can implement what they're doing in a geographical location.
That's
and
right.
know they have a support group around them and a network around them that's going to help them grow their business.
That's exactly right.
And keep everything the way it really should be. Okay, what have you changed? What have you done? And where are you taking it?
Well, I had the opportunity along with the business partner in late last year to actually acquire the parent entity of EWF. Previously, I was the licensee for Dallas, but we now acquired the parent company and have moved operations, the corporate operations to Dallas. We've refreshed kind of our mission, our materials, and so we are actively looking for licensees in other cities that have a similar passion. These may be women who have left a successful corporate job and now want to do something on their own. They may have taken early retirement, or maybe it's someone who had a business that they've sold and they're thinking about what's next for what I want to do. And this allows them to use their passion and their expertise to earn a very nice living, as well as really give back to other women and to do something that's very meaningful. And I know I get a lot of joy out of what we do, and we see a lot of success stories in what we do with the women that we work with.
Are you working with people that are already in a business, or are you working with people that also want to develop a new business and move it into, let's say, an enterprise organization?
Both. Okay. For women who are in our peer advisory boards, most of those peer advisory forums, we call them, are women who already have an established business. Typically, startups don't often have the funding to pay for the service and participating in the group, although we have had a couple of exceptions. But primarily, they're women who have employees, they've got a well-established business, but they're at that point where they want to grow and scale that business. Then for our executives run the gamut from typically director titles all the way through CEO titles, where they're coming together and really sharing expertise and insight with each other as they're dealing with the navigation of their career, they're making strategic decisions for their company, et cetera. And then for someone who's interested in starting a business, or adding an additional revenue stream to maybe an existing executive coaching business or a consulting business or a training and development business, the business opportunity that we offer dovetails very nicely into those other services. So I would say that most of our licensees over the past 20 years have done something other than EWF. They've been a consultant, they've been an executive coach, and these things are complementary businesses to one another, and they have multiple revenue streams in their organization.
It seems like a natural progression would be acquisition, mergers, acquisitions,
Absolutely.
things of that nature to grow the companies. Wonderful. Geographic locations. You said that you're looking to expand.
That's right. We're looking at most major markets. In the early days, and before we acquired the company was primarily focused in Texas and Oklahoma. We see the potential is so much larger, which is the reason why we acquired the business in late last year. There was just really no movement, no growth, and we just think there's great opportunity. So we are now actively looking at some other major markets. Kind of top on our list are places like Austin, Atlanta, and some places that are fairly close in, and then we'll expand. I actually have some conversation going with someone in the Bay Area right now as a potential licensee. So we're beginning to have those conversations, and that will become a greater focus for us over the next 6 months.
Where can people go? Because obviously these are networking processes that you work through that go into mentoring processes that go into other parts of the business that they can either acquire or grow or expand. Right. How does somebody get started with this?
They typically log a request through our website, EWFinternational.com, and from there, depending on what that individual's interest is, if it's becoming a licensee and starting their own business, I generally send them some brief information, and if it sounds like something they're interested in pursuing, we'll have a phone call and start the process from there.
So
and
it's you.
It's me, and it's my business partner, and we have a couple of other people that work for us part-time. But in terms of talking to the licensee, it's either myself or it's Jennifer Carter, our company president, that typically has those conversations, because we're the ones with experience of actually running and being licensees ourselves, and we know what it takes to build a business, we know what it takes to maintain a business, so we can give them firsthand knowledge and experience that we've had and how you successfully build your own business using this model.
Beautiful.
So having spent 5 years as a licensee before taking on the corporate entity, that gives me really firsthand knowledge of the challenges, the opportunities, what it takes to get groups started.
I'd like to help participate more with getting the word out and helping you and your organization grow.
And it really is about getting the word out. When we first when I first started building the business in Dallas and was starting with my first group, it's always hard to get that first group started because people want to say, how many groups do you have? Well, I don't have any groups yet. How many people are in your group? Well, nobody's in the group yet. But once you build that first 4 or 5 that commit, then it's much easier to get the group built out. And so now we've had sustained groups for over 5 years now, and we have members who started the very first at launch that are still with both of the groups that I lead today. So it's based on an annual membership, and you have to commit to a minimum of 1 year when you join a group. We want those people to develop deep relationships with each other, so we don't want a lot of turnover in those groups. But at the end of that first year, someone can re-up for another year if they want to. And we have about an 80% renewal rate year over year.
That's pretty good.
So people don't keep putting their money down if they're not getting value out of it. And the women in these groups, they become very trusted advisors to each other. And what happens for women, we all know, and I came out of corporate America 20 plus years in the technology industry at senior levels before I started my own business. And I know what happens. Many women are raising a family. They have very responsible jobs. And so what happens is they work, they take care of their family, and they logically know, I need to build a network. I need to build an external network of folks outside the workplace that I work on. But that takes conscious effort to do. And sometimes it falls on the back burner, even though they know they should do it. And what happens is, we're not a networking organization, we're an education organization. But when these women come together and they're spending a half a day a month together.
It's a natural progression.
It's a natural progression. They get a built-in network of executive women beyond the place where they work. And what these women tell me all the time is how much they value the relationships they've developed with these women, and they're probably women they might not have met any other way. They're not in the same industry, they're often in different job functions, and so they don't always cross paths. How does a VP of IT in a manufacturing company get to know a VP of HR in a software company?
Right.
You know, they probably don't cross paths much. And so this gives them the ability, and they really value the perspective from other industries, the perspective from different job functions. If let's say that I'm in IT, how often do I get to sit and really dig into an issue that finance is having or HR is having? And the more I progress in my career, the broader understanding I need to have of all of the job functions within an organization. So these women find it a tremendous learning experience, one where they gain perspective, one where they become better leaders, they make better strategic decisions, all of those things that you have to do in terms of honing your financial, business, and strategic acumen skills as you progress through the ranks. And for our business owners, sometimes it's very lonely at the top. You're making these decisions. You can't talk to your employees. You could talk to your attorney. You might be able to talk to your CPA. But being able to sit around and talk to a group of 10 other business owners and seek their wisdom, counsel, input, the experiences that they've had in
Both
their own
inside and
businesses.
outside of the workplace.
Absolutely.
I can see that this would be a tremendous help.
It is a tremendous help. And the other thing it does is it really encourages people often to take those risks or to take those leaps. Sometimes if you don't have those groups to talk to, you think you're making a good decision,
But you don't
but
know.
you don't really know. And so you can either get validation that, hey, you've done really great in thinking this through, or you walk away going, oh, I didn't consider
Exactly.
all of the things I needed to consider. And we've seen both of those things happen in the group, where people have not gone down the path they'd originally intended because when they brought it to the group, they realized they had not considered some things. And for others, they walked away having the confidence that, yes, that is a good decision. And I am going to move forward on that decision, not just based on what I think, but based on some pretty good validation from other folks sitting around the table.
Well, and the confidence to be able to go out and implement it.
Absolutely.
Because you have a group that you can rely on.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. I want to interview more people from your group because I can tell
I
that
can give you a
they're gonna
list.
they'll be dynamic.
They are dynamic. It's extremely rewarding to me. I've met this fantastic group of women that I have certainly value them as clients, but they've also become friends, and they've also become confidants in many ways, and they've given great input to us as we build the company. You know, what's the value to them? In fact, when we acquired the company and we're launching a new website, we pulled a number of our clients together with our marketing company, and we really talked about what is the value that you, our customer, get out of participation in these forums. And it really helped us build our story, because we think we know, but to hear them articulate it, that's really what we wanted to give voice to. And so our marketing company did a good job of taking us through that process to help us, a company by the name of Bold Entity. So they took us through the process, but we really felt like we then were able to understand, here's what these women really get out of it, and articulate that well.
Bold Entity, you mean John?
No. Bold Entity is a marketing strategy firm owned by Valerie Jimenez.
Oh, okay. I'd love to talk to her.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you.
All right, well, Tanis, let's put this one to a close for now, because you're going to be coming back and bringing guests with you. I really want you to know that I want to support this group. I want to help whatever way I can.
Well, thank you.
And see what we can do.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Tanis. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and sign up for our social media platform on our website if you'd like to participate and see more great interviews just like this. Talk to you soon.